Hey family, I'm so glad you are here, and I am going live at this present moment to all of my people that are in my chat room and Instagram. I want to thank you and welcome you here for your live. And we are going to talk about the conscious awakening. This is some serious stuff that's going on. We are going to break it down, what it truly means to wake up consciously. What is that? What is it? People don't know what it is. So when we talk about the conscious awakening, we talk about the opening veil of yourself, truly tapping into what it is of that you know and what it is of who you are. So I have never went live before, but I'm so excited. So a lot of you have so many questions about, oh, I love you too. Ashe, Mika. Ashe. Welcome. Y'all come on in the building. Come in the building. We are going to talk about the conscious awakening, what that means for you, what is going on in the present moment, what is not going on that you're not hip to, what is going on that you're not hip to. So we're going to talk about all of this. Ashe to my people that are coming in the building. Welcome. Yes, welcome. Peace and blessings. Ashe to the Patricia. Ashe, I see you, my sister. We are going to talk about the conscious awakening. And I'm glad you posed a question about relationships on the other side. All of those things exist, but first we must understand the conscious awakening of the reality and the dimensions that we are in now. So, what does it mean to be consciously awoken? Well, number one, you have made it this far. So that means the conscious awakening of your soul is now leading you to this point. So when we talk about the conscious awakening, we talk about the soul waking up. You guys, this is some serious stuff. That means your higher self has gotten you to this point to know and feel the direction that you are headed in is not in the direction that your soul, your higher self feels like you need to go in. So when you wake up within in the conscious aspect of things, let's break this thing down. People talk about conscious. It doesn't matter where you go. It doesn't matter what you're noticing now is everything is consciousness, and you see hashtag stay woke and hashtag this and hashtag that, but it's all about your spiritual self. So when you want to break it down to your spiritual self and involvement, you are not talking about the spiritual self of stay woke and what's going on around you in the physical dimension, which might be like Black Lives Matter or something like that. That's not to diminish what they do and who they are, but it has nothing to do with the consciousness awakening of your soul and your spirit. Your soul and your spirit is unbiased. It doesn't have a color or anything to it. It's very unbiased. It doesn't know things of this realm. It knows all things in the spiritual aspect of things. So therefore, the things that go on in the physical dimensions, the spirit knows nothing about. Now, when you talk about the awakening of yourself, that means you want more. You want more in the spiritual aspect. You want more in the physical aspect. You know that your alignment in life is not going in the way that it should be going. And that's okay, because when you make it this far, you realize that the spiritual involvement of yourself must be something greater on the horizon to get here. There must be a part of you that wants and needs more. It's like you're hungry for more, right? So a lot of you understand the basics of spiritual consciousness, because when you learn about it, what you do is you pick up a book, you start reading things. You go on YouTube and you find people that you like to start telling you about the consciousness of things. But do you know that once you awaken your third eye, you begin to open yourself into all other entities, some that you can protect yourself from and some that you can't. Ashe, educated to the liberate. So, yes, you open yourself to realms and other dimensions that you might not be ready to move forward and protect yourself from. Your spiritual awokenness means that you now have opened the veil of yourself to receive on many dimensions, many, more than one, not just this one. So that means you have to be very, very careful about opening yourself in the spiritual consciousness. You have to create a bubble and to understand, ashe, ashe, ashe. You have to create a bubble to understand that once you open yourself, you are now open to many aspects of spirit, more than one. So you're talking about entities that have formed up, that like extraterrestrials, which we know a lot about, and some of us are just now getting into it. But I want to put y'all on to a few people that are big in the community that know what's going on with spirit. Yes, ashe, ashe, ashe. So yes, when you begin to open yourself in the spiritual consciousness of being awoke, you can utilize your gifts and your talents, but you must be careful by using your gifts and your talents. Your gifts and your talents open you up to the receptiveness of many other entities that you might not be ready to handle. Don't come over here talking about all of these other things if you are not ready to handle the things of the spirit. Because the things of the spirit are things that you can't just wish away and pray away. You got to know what you're doing when you're dealing with the things of the spirit, because that is some heavy energy. Y'all don't know. That's ashe. Can I get ashe? That is some heavy, heavy, heavy energy. When you're dealing with the things of the spirit, you must prepare yourself spiritually. You must be spiritually in tune with information. That's why a lot of people be messed up, because when they put food in their bodies, they not ready for the type of information that comes down from the spirit. That's why you have to be careful of what you eat, because it's not that you are eating the food to fulfill your stomach, to fill it up. You are eating the food for the information that it gives to your soul. What does it provide to your soul? Your soul is complex. Your soul is not so simple. See, we break things down to think that we can understand our soul in a simple way, in a simple term. It's not simple. Things of the spirit is not simple. It is complex. It has many multitudes and dimensions and frequency waves. These ashe, these are the waves of energy. We are on a frequency, people. What is going on is a transition of our life to be upgraded in the spiritual consciousness of awakening. If you are not ready to upgrade yourself in the spiritual conscious of awakening, you might as well log off. Log off. Because the spiritual consciousness of awakening is going to push you in dimensions, in areas of your life that you are not ready to receive. And if your spirit is not ready to receive everything that we say, everything that I say, everything the spiritual conscious community might say, it might sound like blah, 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 blah. Because that means your spiritual self is not ready to receive. So when we get into these talks and into these realms of spirit, please know that it's coming in love and in light. But I am only talking to those who are ready to receive the spiritual energy frequencies of consciousness awakening. When you consciously awake, we're not talking about wrapping your hair. We're not talking about dreadlocking your hair, wearing different modalities and crystals, and that's not conscious awakening. That is exploitation. That is what we are on right now within the spiritual community, and you must be aware of these things. I will fail as a teacher student if I did not make you aware. Yes, I said student. I am a student at all times and forever will be. I am not just a teacher. I am a student. See, when you come into this awakening, you learn the different things about the different aspects of life. You learn about Buddhism. You learn about Buddhism. You learn about Hinduism. You learn about Judaism. You learn about Egypt. You learn about all these different things that bring you into your one, or into your oneness. One being into the nesting the source of energy of where you come from. See, when you come into this awakening and this alignment, you must connect with your true and your most valuable self. Your true and your most valuable self comes in many other forms. I don't want y'all to get hung up on Africanism, Pan-Africanism, all of these different things. Yes, they have a basis. And you have to connect with whatever basis resonates with you, Ashe. Whatever resonates with you as your spirit. But see, what resonates with me is not going to be the same thing that resonates with you, because we're complex. I told y'all, we complex. Ashe, Ashe, I see y'all in the building. I see y'all in the building. Yes, Ashe. So we are complex. That means there's many things going on, many dimensions and many levels. It's not just one. It's not just one thing. We have these, we're cultivated in many things. Now, while we're in the spiritual realm, we must be sure to protect ourselves spiritually. So using our spiritual eye, the one that we actually need to see, that is what is being used and called about and called upon. Ashe, Ashe. That is what you need to use to see, to truly see the picture of things. Use the spiritual eye to connect with these people, to connect with yourself, because people are coming to you now in many different forms and in many different ways, trying to connect with your being, because your spiritual being is worth so much magnitude to who you are. Yes, Ashe, Ashe. It's connected to who you are in your source, in your sense, in your entity. And it's people that want the connection of your entity. They're not interested in you. They're not interested in you. They're interested in your entity. So it's important with the conscious awakening of things, people, that you move into the dimensions of self and hear the voice and the spiritual intonement and fine-tune the voice of your inner self. Because these are the things that matter. Nothing else matters when it comes to life. Because you see, life comes in many ways, and people think that life is just life. It's the basis, right? Life is spiritual, and it doesn't matter where you come from, who you are. Life is spiritual. Everything that you encounter is spiritual. Every choice that you encounter is spiritual. It's a test to see if you are ready. And I don't even want to use the word test, because when you think about it, you think about tests, you're going to start applying that to everything in your life. Everything ain't a test. Everything is based upon wisdom. Wisdom. Anything that you receive intuitively is wisdom. How can you apply? That is what it's about. You have this conscious awakening and movement that people are just jumping on the name of consciousness, and it has nothing. What about the subconscious? We struggle as people to identify problems in our subconscious and how to heal the subconscious. The subconscious is the barrier to break, not the conscious. The conscious is not the barrier. The subconscious is the break. See, the subconscious, the way the subconscious works, it is programmed to let you know or to tell you things that are not possible. That's what it says. These things are not possible. You doing this is not possible. That is the subconscious mind that feeds you when you're not even thinking about it. It's the subconscious mind that gives you information and tells you this is the information, so take it. That is what we are upon. We are under attack in our subconscious, people. We are under attack in our subconscious. Ashe, our subconscious have fell victim to programming. And that's what I'm trying to get you to understand. When you come into the spiritual awakening of things, you have to realize that we are under programs, and the programs are coming in and they jumping into our homes, they're jumping into our families, they're jumping into our marriages, they're jumping into our relationships, they're jumping into our lives. They're affecting our choices and our decisions because the programs are meant to program you. They're meant to come in and rewire. I'm coming in to rewire you. That's what the programs are meant to do. You have to have a spiritual eye and use your spiritual eye to break past the programs. The programs have stopped you from being so dumbed down. Ashe, ashe, ashe. The programs have stopped you from being so dumbed down. The programs are what you have to break. And that lies within that subconscious. See, when you sit in front of a TV and you watch a program, they are programming your subconscious. They're not programming you in the physical. They're programming your subconscious. So when you go and you go to sleep, your subconscious is running those thoughts. And then guess what? You tend to attract what your subconscious is feeding you. That is what conscious awakening is about. Not about wrapping your hair and doing all of these things on the third dimension. No, that has a purpose to it. But if you don't understand the subconscious behind it, then you lose it. You lose the value of it. This is nothing but a necklace piece. It's nothing without programming. This itself must be programmed. Your systems, your crystals, all of this that you got in your house, your sage, it must be programmed. A sage is just a sage stick. That's it. Without programming it, it's just a sage stick. You have to program. You have to program your mind to know that your subconscious cannot control your being. That's why attracting and doing these things and manifestation is very hard for people to see and realize in the physical dimension, because the programs, we messed up with the programs. We have to go back and reprogram ourselves. And people always say, well, I don't know what my purpose is and all of these things, because you have been programmed to think that your purpose is connected to the material things. Your program doesn't mean that it's not connected to having and receiving. But the problem of the program is that you see an image and an idea of what you think you're supposed to be, and you truly don't know how to get to who you're supposed to be because of the program. The program are the systems that we have to go in and reboot. We must do our jobs to reboot the programs. And the programs are all subconscious. They tell you, well, you can't go past this point. You can't, you know what, you can't switch over to be this way and eat all vegan food or whatever it is, because even that might be a program. Some people say, well, I want to change my life and I want to eat better and I want to do these things. But I can't. I just love the way. I love the way that chicken tastes. That chicken's so good. I'm not here to say that whether you eat chicken or whether you eat tofu or whatever is one is right or wrong more than the other. They both can be programs, but how are you utilizing the information in the program? What are you pulling from the program? What are you pulling from the program? From this type of platform and this information, what are you pulling from the program? That's what you need to identify. What are you pulling from it? How does it make you feel? Because those are programs. When it changes the way you feel, it's a program. Programming and unprogramming is a part of the conscious awakening. So now that I got your ear, now that I know you understand what is going on and what's going on in the conscious, Ashe, what's going on in the conscious community now is that be careful, be mindful of the conscious awakening, because the conscious awakening talks about programming. It essentially does program you. It tells you, well, if you conscious, you can't do this. If you conscious, you can't do. You are a being. You are yourself. You must be yourself at all times. You can't walk around talking about conscious this, conscious that, conscious this. No. What about self? You must utilize the tools you have within the conscious awakening. So today, for instance, today is Sunday, the day of the sun. When we talk about the sun, we talk about the soul, because that's what is the vortex of the sun is the soul, S-O-L, not the S-O-U-L, the S-O-L. So S-O-L of the soul is about going back to the source. You know, the soul of the sun has no enemies but one. The soul of the sun has no enemies but one. Y'all don't hear me. It has one enemy, and that's the day of Saturn. And you know why? Saturn is the father. Saturn is the teacher. So a lot of people get mad at the teacher as their enemies when they need to revisit their soul, because their soul has the answer. Revisit your soul. Don't get mad at the teacher. Ashe, ashe. Don't get mad at the teacher. Revisit our soul. The soul complex. The soul, I told you we complex. Yes, Saturn, the father, the enforcer. The day of Saturday. But on this Sunday, y'all have to understand that we have to work with geometrics of life. We have to work with planetary hours and movement. We got to know how to move, because our body is operating and ran by the planets. That's why a lot of things don't work when you talk about a conscious awakening, because you are not moving with the planets and the energy of the planets. You must move with the energy of the planets and how they operate. And see, I wanted to bring y'all in to Align Sundays. I'm starting this new thing here, and we're going to align. Y'all going to know we're going to do this. So I'm going to still post, but we're going to do this live. Align Sundays, because I have some teachings and I have some learnings from the students about the soul. And Sundays is to get in tune with the soul. We can use this day to get in tune with our soul and understand the soul complex of life. The soul complex, because we are all complex. Complex of life. Ashe, ashe. Thank you, y'all. Welcome to the building. Welcome. I appreciate it. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate it. Because, see, I was all offbeat today. But I realized that it was the soul that needed to know what was going on Sunday. So when we talk about this conscious awakening, y'all don't understand what the moves. But what I want you to understand is connect with your soul so you can be in alignment with what the information is coming down, the information that you're channeling up. So if we are made of receives, we are made of receptors, we must be able to receive. We made of the receptors. Our hairs, all of us. It don't matter who you are. A lot of people hair coiled up, curly. That is a receptor because DNA coils. It curls. It curls because it locks the genetic information in. So we all will ascend. We all will make our ascension once we realize that we have an encoding in our system and it's our programs that we have to rebuild. We have to rebuild the subconscious thoughts of the program because we don't understand why this does this and this does this. Even when I break it down to the psychic aspect of things, of why. Ashe, Monique, Ashe, welcome to the building, welcome. Even when I break it down to the spiritual aspects of the psychic realm and how these things come about, there is a program in the psychic realm. And that's why I do what I do, because of the program that's in the psychic realm. When I go to that realm, in the psychic realm, don't you know that I am powerful to move things in that psychic realm to help rebuild the program? Because people have ascended and moved on. And trust me, the ones that ain't coming back, they don't need no reprogramming. They don't need it. But the ones that have to come back, their system has to be rebuilt. And that's why I say. That's why I do what I do. Because I can help rebuild the program in the psychic realm of things, in the unknown, beyond the veil of life. See, y'all don't understand when I say that I go beyond the veil of life and death. Y'all don't understand why I say what I say, because I go beyond the veil of life. I heal in this life and I heal in the entity of death, which means that the soul needs a new vehicle. It needs a body. It needs a new body. So I try to heal that soul before it gets to a new body. Ashe. Can I get a ashe? Thank you. Rhonda V in the building. Y'all don't know Rhonda V. That's some spiritual healing right there. See, you have to connect with those that are connected. Ashe, Monique. See, Monique, you've been down and I appreciate it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I can heal in the veil of death before that soul gets a new body. That's why I do what I do. It gets a new vehicle. It gets a new vehicle. So that's why I heal and do what I do. And y'all know that me being able to do that in the psychic realm is not something that I alone can do, but you guys have gifts and talents and areas that you have to help and do things for, because we are all here to rebuild the consciousness, redo that programming. That's why we're here. People think that, oh, I can't do what you do. You might not be able to do what I do, but you can do something to rebuild the programming. I don't care if you black, blue, white, gray, purple, green. I don't care. Because these are things that have to be rebuilt. It's not about one single thing. No one thing is right. We are here to reestablish and rebuild the consciousness of the all, the supreme. It's all one. But you cannot get entrapped with trying to pull people out of consciousness or out of I say out of consciousness because, like I said, people say conscious awakening. And that's why I titled it Conscious Awakening, because I want you to wake up and let you know that it's not about consciousness awakening. It is about the subconscious. The subconscious mind has to be reprogrammed. And once we reprogram the subconscious mind, we reprogram the system. We reprogram the program. But we have to awaken the spiritual eye that we have to rebuild the program into something that we can change on an individual basis to help rebuild it all together. We must come awake. The subconscious mind is suffering. People don't know what move to make, where to go left, where to go right, where to do this, where to do that. It is the subconscious mind that is suffering because you have been programmed to think and to do without thinking. That's a program. Do without thinking. Do without thinking. Come home, turn on the TV, do without thinking. That's a program. We have to beat the program. How does one, Educated to Liberate says, how does one start and stay safe? Number one, you have to know the programming that, number one, you cannot, there's no other entities outside of you that can harm you. So that's how you know. Once you reprogram yourself and you say, I am the entity. I am of the source. There is nothing that can come up against me. I don't have to protect myself because I am the protection. I don't need the crystals. I don't need the sage. I don't need that because I am the protection. My sheer presence and energy is the protection to move into to different dimensions. My sheer energy and protection is that when I walk in a building, no one can fuck with me. No one. No one will come in this space and mess with me because you have already set the stage. That's a part of the program in that subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind tell you, oh, you can't go to this place because you know what, this place is about to be crazy, and we can't go eat outside because every time you turn around it's somebody shooting up something, and we can't let our sons, especially black sons, we can't let them do nothing because the police doing this. That's part of the programming. Have you noticed that they show all of that on the news? Have you noticed that it comes out around right around the spring of equinox? Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that it comes around the spring of equinox? Because it's upon the horizons where they get to reprogram and watch. We're getting ready for a new transition. That's part of the programming. Ashe, Iris Spirit, you've been down too. I peace and blessings. Yes, it is a part of the program, and that's why they show it all these times. And then you'll notice that they start putting more slavery movies or any type of things that make you want to repress back to that, because you have to heal your ancestors. See, your ancestors come from that. Whether you white, black, blue, purple, all of it is programming. You have to come back to healing the energy of your ancestors. And if you are still constantly being reminded of that, what it does with the programming, I'm going to tell you, it messes the programming up. It forces you to think that there's truly a problem in the issue when it's really not a problem. It's really not an issue. The issue is that if you don't know how to tap into your crystal grid and grid your life, the issue is if you don't know about tantric energy and going and quantum jumping and being able to shift things through your mind, that is the issue. The issue is being able to identify things when they come to you, because they come to you in the physical form, but it's really spiritual. When people bring that bullshit to you at work, it's really spiritual. But if you don't know how to move past it, you're going to deal with it in the physical. And that is what it's about, you guys. It's breaking past the conscious thoughts, the thoughts that come through your head that are there, that are in front of you. The subconscious is the one in the background, in the back of your ear, talking about, well, you don't want to leave. He left his phone on the bed, but you might should check it. It is a spiritual warfare. You're right. You're right. Your subconscious mind, like, he left his phone on the bed, and maybe you should go through it. Maybe you should check his phone. Fuck his phone. Forget it. If you know that is something going on and you feel it and you in tune, then cut it. Cut it off. That's the subconscious. That's the program, and thinking that you gotta stay in something you don't have to stay in. You can cut it off. See, once you cut it off, you tend to get what you truly deserve. You gain power. You gain the power. Y'all know I'm gonna keep it 51-50 with y'all, cause y'all my family. And once you know what it is, the subconscious got you thinking, or the conscious mind got you thinking, well, you know what, I'm going to just be with him because really, he do help me out with these bills right now and all this. Man, forget that. Forget that. That's the programming. So I don't want to hold up too much more time of y'all. I just wanted to get your ear and let you know that it is a spiritual warfare going on, and it's over your subconscious thoughts. You must reprogram them. You must do your mantras every day. You must do your affirmations when you get up in the morning. Get up in that between the hours when the sun ain't up, when everybody's asleep, because that's when the void between the planets are empty, and it gives you time to transmit, to speak your transmutation to the